All right, it's time to get into some football talk. It's been a hot minute. Do your stretches. Get warmed up, whatever you need to do. Get the mind right. We're talking football. All right, so what we're going to do is we went through and we want to do a little bit of a recap over the 2024 season, but with some accolades. So we've got 4 different categories. Everyone's got some picks. We're going to talk about our favorite team to watch in the 2024 season, our favorite player to watch, the best atmosphere of a game we were either at or even could have been watching on TV or on Texan Live, knowing like, hey, this atmosphere is insane, or the best game and then also the best game that you saw this season. So 4 different categories. I will start off first, and we're going to go with our favorite team to watch. Mine in the 2024 season was the Willis Wildcats.
Yeah, completely understandable there. Well, and I think it's kind of special for you too because you got to make your debut on Bally Sports Southwest.
That is true.
Yeah, and as the first female ever to call a game, call a football game, and it was DeSoto and Willis. So that probably also has a special place in your heart too.
It does.
Not to get sentimental.
So we will now roll the video of Willis.
The Highlanders bring 5. Emerson lofts it over the middle, wide open. Touchdown, Willis. Rommel Stevens. Up the middle, touchdown, Willis. Robinson finishes the job that time.
Number 5.
Emerson throws in the slot. Oh, what a move by Jermaine Bishop. Jermaine Bishop up the sideline gives Willis the lead. Touchdown, Wildcats. Quick throw. Bishop bounces off a hit, and here he goes. Look out for Jermaine Bishop. He needs a block. He gets it and scores. 57 yards for number 7. For the win. It is good, and Willis takes first place in 13-6A.
45, Woodlands 42.
So those highlights, incredible calls by our very own Chase Snyder on Dave Campbell's Texan Live, but that game ended up 45-42. It was the 4th game of the season, the 2nd game in district play between the top 2 teams in 13-6A. It was wild. I was sitting on my couch watching that game the whole time. I was texting Chase during the broadcast, which is probably bad as the executive producer, but I was just so hyped.
You were so excited.
Yeah. So it lived up to the expectation. That has become a game that we have known to be just crazy every single year. This is the 2nd year in a row it's been like that. But I think the reason why I enjoyed watching Willis so much was, one, from a football perspective, an incredible team, an electric offense. They had a defense that every now and
can
then
get got. Yeah.
Yes. But in the back half of the season, that defense came alive and is what kept them in a lot of the games. But the real kicker was Jermaine Bishop is a superstar, and we have known that for so long. But this year, he was really able to shine because of who was not there. And there's 2 guys that were able to shine because of who was not there. And that, of course, is DJ Lagway, having his way down at Florida, doing an incredible job at the collegiate level. But Jack Emerson stepped up in his senior year as the quarterback and was phenomenal. Yes, it is great to have Jermaine Bishop on the outside, but Jack Emerson was a special talent. And when we talked to Trent Miller prior to when Tepper and I got to call the Willis DeSoto game there in the playoffs when they ended up falling to DeSoto. But he was saying, he's like, Jack was just, he didn't even realize at the time how much he was soaking everything in, being able to be with DJ and watch how he acted at the throws that he made. He was like, we knew Jack was a good quarterback, but we didn't anticipate this. Yeah. And it was just, the team was so fun to watch. They were easy, not like we don't root for teams, but it was enjoyable to watch their success.
Yeah, because like you said, I think we had no idea if this team was even going to have an identity before the 2024
season. Jermaine Bishop is good, but who gets in the ball?
Yeah. Exactly. So it was kind of cool to see guys like that step up and just take a program that was already good and even make it better at that point.
And it's funny because they have a wide receiver, Xavier Hardman, and if Jermaine Bishop was not there, like Xavier's like one of the he's got to be one of the best number 2 receivers in the state. And no one gives him his flowers because it's so hard to with how good Jermaine is. But anyway, the Willis Wildcats, they are my team that were my favorite team to watch this season.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. My team, they won a state championship, and it is the Richmond Randall Lions.
Down and not a touchdown.
Exactly. Sweeney on the fake. Keelan Sweeney scores! Randall with their first lead of the night. Skrabnik has most time he's had. Got a man open. Caught. Touchdown Lions. Keelan Sweeney, his third total touchdown of the night. Skrabnik has most time he's had. Got a man open. Caught. Touchdown Lions. Keelan Sweeney, his third total touchdown of the night. Jenner going to go out wide. White stepping up. White hit as he throws. Ball is loose. Randall picks it up, but there's a penalty flag on the field.
The Richmond Randall Lions, my pick as, I don't want to say favorite team because again, I don't want to seem like we're picking favorites here.
Favorite
but
team to watch is
during
different.
this season. Yes. So let's take it back a little bit. This program is only 3 years old. It was started back in 2022. I guess that's 3 years ago, 2021, something like that. Randall High School is actually named. So the head coach, Brian Randall, the school itself is named after his dad.
No pressure.
No pressure or anything. So that was kind of an important hire to make, right, for the football program. And past couple years, they did pretty well. Last year, into the season, 11-2. This year, they go undefeated. And to cap it all off, back in December, they take down South Oak Cliff to claim their first ever state championship for the 5A Division II state championship. They claimed their first state title. But I think what I liked about this team so much was their defense.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get to their offense in a second, of course, with Landon Williams-Callis, an electric 2027 running back. They had a couple of really good weapons on the outside, good quarterbacks. But the defense, man, this is where they could hang their hats on. And that's what they did the entire season. Up until the state championship game against South Oak Cliff, they did not allow more than 14 points to be scored in a single game. And you might think, okay, well, what did their schedule look like? They played really good teams. They played Iowa Colony twice, which they were ranked in the season. They played Iowa Colony twice. They played Fort Bend Marshall, which they're full of weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and still held them under 14 points. That defense, and I got to see them play twice in person. I got to see them play in the state semifinal game against Bernie, which was an absolute dominant win over Bernie.
Nothing there.
And then, of course, in the state championship game. But, man, what Brian Randall and then co-offensive coordinator Stephen Hill have been able to build within that team has been just incredible the past couple of years. And they're just a really, really fun team to watch. They kind of run that 2-quarterback system with Tyler Skrabnik at quarterback. He's kind of their throwing quarterback. But then when they want to run the ball in a QB sneak or something, they throw in Keelan Sweeney, who just picked up an offer from UTRGV, by the way. He's a senior, but just picked up an offer from UTRGV. But it's just a team full of dudes. Yeah. You know, like Landon Williams-Callis, I'd say is probably their number one dude.
Oh, yeah.
But they've got dudes everywhere, you know, and I was really happy to see them win the state. Just cap off a phenomenal year with a state championship title. First ever for a third-year varsity program. So
it's a good pick.
Thanks.
Good pick.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to our next category here. Your favorite player to watch. I'll kick this one off. And I am going.
Yours is elite. I've got to say, yours is elite.
There was never the moment that you said favorite player. I was like, okay, done, done. Our Lord and Savior, our King, A&M Consolidated defensive lineman, Vakapuna Faketi.
Cochran giving it up, snap up the middle, short gain of maybe only one. The ball came out. That's a live ball. They haven't blown the play dead. This is going to be a fumble return for a touchdown. My goodness! Vakapuna Faketi!
My goodness, Vakapuna Faketi.
I had to get on Twitter really quick so I could actually watch the highlights of him again, which is just fantastic.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy went like 4 games with a defensive touchdown, okay? And we were watching the first one happen live. You and I are sitting in our living room.
That's
It's
right.
a Thursday night. We're watching the game. And you were looking down at your phone. I think I was on my computer because we were getting work done for Texas Football Tonight,
'Cause it was
our
a
Friday
Thursday
night
night,
program.
yeah.
So we have 2 different screens going, and we've got a couple of games on each one. We've got some games on our laptop. We're just checking in on all the Texan Live games, which is the best way to watch Texan Live.
Yes.
Subscribe. And all of a sudden, I hear, like you can always tell when something big is happening because the crowd gets loud, the announcer gets loud, and I happen to look up, and all I see is big number 90 just barreling his way down the field. And I was like, he has the ball in his hand. I was like, this is about to be a big man touchdown. I was like, no, this is about to be a big man defensive touchdown. Inject that immediately into my veins, okay? I fell in love in that moment. And I was like, I don't know what this guy's name is, but that was awesome. The lettuce, the way he ran, no hesitation, just up and went.
Yeah.
And then I find out his name is Vakapuna Faketi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, king.
Well, and here's the funny part about that was, so that game that we watched, the announcer, I don't remember who it was like trying to pronounce his name, right? Because that was the first time that, like, you typically don't pronounce defensive linemen's names over a broadcast, right? But everybody knew his name after that touchdown because not only did he do it once,
he did it twice.
Yeah,
in the same game.
Yeah.
And then he had a couple more. That was a later game.
Yeah.
There with Trevor Bullard on the call. But just, you want to talk about something that gets me hyped. Big man touchdowns. Big man defensive touchdowns.
Inject it again into my veins.
Chef's kiss. Shout out to you, Vakapuna. Thank you for giving us so many good highlights over the course. He was our Texas State Technical College Technical Play of the Week. Like
twice, right? Or 3 times or something like that.
He could have been. If it was up to me, it would have been every week.
I think he won it twice.
Yeah.
Which very well deserved.
It was awesome. He was great. Fantastic.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for being you,
Yeah, due to rock.
Yeah.
Vakapuna Faketi.
Yes.
A name to know.
Correct. I like that pick a lot.
Thank you.
that was a really good pick.
Yes.
My pick is probably not going to come as a surprise to people that know me and know my love for recruiting. It's North Crowley wide receiver Quentin Gibson.
Yeah. Stud.
Explosive play capability is really what North Crowley has made their season on all year long, and it is on display here the very first play of the game.
Touchdown reception number 34 for Q. The screen for Gibson. Through the tunnel. Quentin Gibson has a first down. Gibson to the pylon. It's another touchdown. Quentin Gibson is pure electricity.
Yeah, he doesn't need really an introduction. Everybody, I think, in this state, in the country, knows who Quentin Gibson is.
Yeah. He was really special all year long, and I feel like the people that knew. I was so thankful for him that he had the game that he had on the largest stage, the 6A Division I state championship. He had that game.
Yeah.
Because we were all sitting there going, thank you.
Yes.
This is what we've been preaching.
Yeah. The first play from scrimmage, like you just saw, was a flea flicker. And Quentin Gibson, that was his 34th touchdown of the season, or 35th or something. He goes on to score another touchdown later, which is what you saw, marking that his 36th touchdown of the season. 36th touchdown of the season. Just an incredible ball player. And here's his story. His story is actually even more wild than him as an athlete. So let's throw it back to the summer of 2024, maybe even a little bit before that. He'd started on varsity. He had a couple of offers, 2, one being Army and Illinois State. So back in the summer, he was going to camps and stuff, obviously trying to pick up more attention. I think he ended up going to the TCU camp or something, but still only had 2 offers, Army and Illinois State. He tried to commit to Illinois State, and they wouldn't take his commitment.
Dumb.
Yeah, which
Wrong.
I mean, looking at him as he's on the smaller side, which makes for a perfect slot receiver. He's now going to Colorado. He's going to be a slot receiver at Colorado. But
He's a little undersized.
Yeah. So of course,
boy, he makes up for that in speed.
He absolutely does. So week 2 rolls around. North Crowley plays DeSoto. They beat DeSoto. And that was kind of Quentin Gibson's coming out game. He had 4 touchdowns in that single game. He goes on to do that again in week 3, so he's up to 8. By week 5 games into the season, he's totaling 17 touchdowns on the year.
Crazy, man.
So obviously the offers start rolling in. He gets that attention, and then he ends up committing to play for Deion Sanders and the Colorado
and he's
Buffaloes.
Looking at Illinois State going,
bye. Now, he would not have stayed committed to Illinois State, I don't think.
But
But it's still one of those things that...
It's even better at this point.
You know, it's still one of those things that everything happens for a reason, you know, and that's a perfect example of that. But man, I am really, really excited to watch him play at the collegiate level. I mean, him being a slot receiver, I think I think Colorado is a perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
He finished the season with 93 catches, 2,000 yards, and 36 touchdowns. He's an absolute baller. Quentin, we are all rooting for you at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Go kill it at Colorado.
Yeah. And then we go to Vianney Moreno, who has her favorite player to watch.
I will keep my short and sweet. This is more of like a shout out and put his name in y'all's just out there again, because this dude rocks.
He does.
And he
Dudes who rock. Vaka Punavaketti
and
Armando Luan.
Yes.
There you have it. In case that you forgot that he picks his own lobster.
Yes.
So
yeah, he does.
No.
It was really cool to just on Tep and Step. I'm also Matt Step was also wondering why I'm also producing WTF.
You were our producer first.
Yeah,
Matthew.
I don't
Get
understand.
outta here.
I don't understand that.
Get out of here with that.
But it was one of the highlights that I have from Tep and Step. These boys nerded out to the fullest. Armando Luan at Sunray.
Yeah, and
awesome.
that touchdown there, courtesy of our friend Cale Steed out in West Texas, was the touchdown pass that he threw. Well, ironically, it set him as the new UIL Texas passing leader in Texas, and it just happened to be a 52-yard touchdown. Like, to go past that could have happened on any play. It could have been a 2-yard curl, but it was like the fact that it happened on a touchdown was really cool.
Did he surpass 13,000 yards?
Over 14.
Career yards? Oh, 14,000 of career yards. Yeah.
So I was, Tepper and I emceed the Ford Player of the Year banquet.
That's right.
Armando Luan ended up winning the 2A Built Ford Tough Player of the Year.
That's awesome.
So he was there and his dad was there. And we took a photo with him. I don't ever really take photos with the athletes. Like, I'll take photos with coaches, but not with the athletes usually. And I was like, this is one that I was like, yeah. And so we got a photo with Armando Luan and then Mr. Luan, his father, and they were just so grateful and so nice. But yeah, really, really cool. He had been up for that award. This is crazy. He had been up for the 2A Player of the Year award 3 times.
That's wild.
3 times for the Built Ford Tough Player of the Year. And then he gets it his senior year, and he was like, I was shocked. I was like, dude, how are you shocked?
Yeah.
You rock.
Right. Dudes who rock.
Yeah.
Armando Luan.
But yeah, we wish him the best. He has been a special player to watch over the past few years. Great pick, Vianney.
Yeah, really, really good pick.
Yay.
All right, moving on here. Best atmosphere. I am going to go with a state championship game. Ganado 30, Stanford 28 in triple overtime to win the 2A Division I state championship game.
10, leading Logan Burse. Ullman's going to keep it himself this time, out the back door. Ullman helicoptered in for the touchdown. Did he really get in?
They may look at it, but Bryce Ullman, everything he's got, will go airborne here. We'll check the mark.
don't know if the ball is across, but the ruling is on the field. Well, he might be
number 10, but out on the field facing 4th and 4 for the championship. Duran rolling out, fires downfield, end zone wide open for the touchdown. Clay Whitfield on the receiving end. Stanford an extra point away from tying it back up.
Oh, what a play call from Wes Hutchinson and Wayne Hutchinson. They fake the flood to the left, and they leak out Clay Whitfield across the grain. And what wherewithal from Christian Duran to sell it, then turn and fire to his man in the middle of the end zone. Oh, wow.
They have to match or if they have a chance to win. What's your best play call, Josh Irvin? Ullman rolling, end zone. What a catch! Austin Pena hauls it in. 2 for Ganado.
Oh, Austin Pena climbs the ladder to bring it in at the critical moment. Let's take a look again. They do some eye candy here. He's under pressure, and what a grab, full extension. Yes, sir.
Outstanding. Duran with Vega to his right. The reverse. Looking to throw it. End zone, it's intercepted. Ganado wins the state championship. Bryce Ullman picks it off to end it.
In a game that lived up to every expectation, it is the man who elevated this program in Bryce Ullman.
I mean, can you not tell how good of an atmosphere that was just from the video? And that's just a crowd mic. You know, a great job on the call. God, I hope he doesn't hear this. A great job on the call by Mike Leslie. I hope Tepper doesn't hear this. A great job on the call by Greg Tepper.
Yes, it was good.
That game was so stinking fun. And, you know, we had the 2 1A games earlier that day. All due respect, congratulations to those who won. Congratulations to those who made them. Both of them got 45'd. One of them got 45'd at half. The other one got 45'd at, oh, no, this was the start.
That was Friday morning because I was down on the sideline for that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, Shiner Munster was the night before, and that was another banger of a game.
Yes.
But this one was just so fun. For a state championship game to go into triple overtime, the atmosphere was incredible. All of that crowd noise, it's not like we're talking about 50,000 people being there like what you're looking at for a 6A Division I game. We're talking about these 2 towns, basically.
The entire town gets up.
Not a light drive, Ganado down south, Stanford way out west up north. They were all there. They were loud. They were on their feet the entire time. Ganado had never won. They had been number 1 all year. You look at the right side of the bracket and, a Refugio, a Shiner, a Timpson, like depending on what classification, moving up or down. Obviously Shiner in a different classification now, but back in the day, those players were just incredible. Bryce Ullman, the offensive MVP, was truly electric. And for those of you who don't know, when you get into the 3rd overtime in Texas high school football, that's when you start trading 2-point conversions. Not only did he have the touchdown or the 2-point conversion pass to Austin Pena, who was great all game long. He also then picked off the ball for the game-winning interception on defense. I mean, just that's 2A stuff to the core right there. Incredible game. My favorite game of the entire state championship. My favorite game of the year that I was able to watch.
Yeah, I think so. I love that pick. Mine is very, very similar to your pick. It's actually another state championship game. The other 2A. This time 2A Division II state championship game between Munster and Shiner.
The 6. Carney inside the 5. Driving to the end zone. Touchdown, Munster! Kason Carney's 4th touchdown of the night, and Munster back in front with 40 seconds to go.
This is where champions are made. Kaysen Carney will not be denied. He battles and he scraps and he wants it. In for 6. Hornets in front.
And he got some help from a Waldershide. Colt Waldershide helped push him in there. Now,
I hope everybody heard me say Tepper is so dramatic on the microphone.
He is so dramatic. You know what's funny is I can picture him yelling at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
His face turning red.
Yes.
Full on.
I called a game with him. I have witnessed this in person.
Does he sit down?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, he stood the whole time.
Yeah, I figured so. That seems like Tepper's kind of energy. He stands the whole time. But man, like you saw in the highlights, another fantastic. My stomach just rumbled, so if you heard that, I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
Girls gotta eat.
Girls gotta eat. But just another really electric atmosphere in AT&T Stadium. Of course, they're two smaller towns, so it's not going to be the same thing as a North Crowley, Austin Westlake state championship crowd, right? But both towns were there. Actually, 6,399 people were in attendance for that game, which is huge for a 2A Division II, the smallest 11-man classification game at the state championships. And there was 6,400 people there.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And what made this game, I think, so special to a lot of different people were the family ties. We hinted at it earlier. Brady Carney, of course, the head coach for the Munster Hornets, and his son, starting quarterback, Kaysen Carney. And
Kaysen played out of his mind.
He played absolutely
so
out of his mind. 4 touchdown runs for Kaysen Carney. And to cap it all off, so this game was neck and neck the entire time. It was all knotted up at 21.5. First of all, it became electric the second the game started because Munster starts off with an onside kick and they recover their own onside kick. 6 plays later, they score. They go up 7-0. But of course, Shiner does Shiner things. They refute back 7-7, 21-21 at halftime. It's just neck and neck the entire game, right? So with about 40 seconds left in the game, it's knotted up, or maybe I think no, because there was at one point there was a penalty on a PAT that got called back. Shiner tried to go for 2. It was denied. So they were down by 1. So it was very, very close, obviously. So Shiner gets the ball back with about 40 seconds left. And they get 2 first downs maybe. They take a shot in the end zone, and none other than Kaysen Carney picks it off to seal the win for Munster. And we actually, Gavin, great job to Gavin, actually got the reactions of Kaysen's mom, obviously Coach Carney's wife, and I think it was his sister, and they were hugging it. You could feel in that moment.
I was down there on the sideline with them. They were nervous.
Yeah.
She was locked in. I was like, that's got to be Mama, because she is locked in.
But you could just tell from that moment how the atmosphere was just by seeing that video and how much love. And both teams, I mean, you can tell, but both teams have such a massive fan base that love their teams so much that 64,000 of them were willing to travel to Arlington, Texas to watch them play for a state title.
6,400.
6,400.
I was like, 64,000 would be insane.
Sorry. Let's try to do that next year, all right? For 2A Division II. Let's see if we can get 64,000 people. 6,400 people there to watch their two teams play. And it was an electric atmosphere.
It was awesome.
Truly enjoyed it.
Solid pick. VNA, best atmosphere.
I would have to say, well, this was my second time going to state. And, you know, it is a marathon. So building up to this, and it's the very last game, which is North Crowley and Westlake.
Yeah.
And it was super, it was just going down, because I was in the booth a lot. Video editing, but sometimes I would come out and I went down to the field, and this game was just standing on the field, seeing this stadium, this really huge stadium, just almost, you know, being filled up to the way it was insane to be there, insane to take it all in. And it was just kind of felt like this is it, like this is the game that we've been kind of waiting for. And it was really cool just to take it all in and see all of DCTF on the sidelines just embracing this game. It was awesome.
And it was a good game too. I very much enjoyed it. It is something special to be in there for the first or second time when it is the big boy games.
Yeah.
Like
it's different.
It's different. It's crazy just because I feel like you get the scope of this is Texas high school football. This is different.
Well, not only
different.
I was going to say, not only do you pull in obviously the fan bases, but you pull in a lot of just casual Texas high school football fans that just want to come to see the game.
People were back home for Christmas. It's like, hey, let's take a family trip out to AT&T Stadium. Like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be all of that. So that makes perfect sense. And it was a really good atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go as a tradition every year to these high school games. Right. I know Kimmy, who's also with us, she used to go every year with her dad to go see the state championships, and now she gets to be a part of it, it's just so cool seeing all that.
All right, and to round out our last category quickly here, the best game you saw this season. So I was not at this one in person. I was on air for Texas Football Tonight, but it was our spotlight game. We had been locked in actually what's funny is this one was a spotlight game, but it was like not the one that we were looking forward to. Let's go to District 23 6A, the District of Doom that is, with North Shore, Atascocita, Summer Creek, the whole 9 yards. Kingwood, shocking Kingwood, by the way, which still hasn't got, we need to do a sleeper thing because Kingwood still has not got enough recognition.
No kidding.
But this was week 6, and Atascocita is going to play Summer Creek. And we're going, okay, we're looking forward to week 9 or 10, whenever it was, when Atascocita and North Shore played. We're excited about this, but okay. Atascocita, the reason that we weren't looking forward to this game in the second quarter was because Atascocita goes out and scores 21 unanswered points on Summer Creek, and we're like, ooh, okay.
Okay, not good.
Summer Creek's down more than we thought that they were. Well, then they turn on the Jets.
1 yards per game. From the 20, here's Torrey Blaylock. Blaylock rumbling over the 25, breaks free. And the shutout streak could be over in an instant. Torrey Blaylock, 80 yards, touchdown, no flags. The lefty slings it deep, he's got Tony. Touchdown. Christopher Tony's 5th of the season. Jones said it best regarding the hype is the game is won on the field. Nice run. Eugene Burnett inside the 10. Touchdown. No flags this time. He isn't forcing the ball. He's great. He's playing a great brand of football. And there's Blaylock. He had a career-best 200-yard game last week. He's well on his way to that tonight. Another touchdown. And again, no launch. Second down and 12. Mack gives it off to Tony. Christopher Tony. Touchdown. Down Club of Houston preseason selection this season. Mack keeps it. Carde Mack. Touchdown. 8. Thomas with 3 receivers, the top of your screen. Steps up over the middle, it's caught and into the end zone for the touchdown goes Zade with the tackle. And here's Causey plunging, touchdown. Got it. After the incompletion. And you go back on the ground with Causey. Braylon Causey, touchdown. It's a 1-possession game. 3 minutes to go. Now Thomas will use his legs. And Blake Thomas, touchdown. The Bulldogs have their first lead.
What a comeback.
20 seconds. 3rd and goal. Blaylock, touchdown!
So there you go. The great Michael Silver's on the call there. But, I mean, they were down 35-7 in the 3rd quarter. And that's when, after halftime, we were like, okay, all due respect, let's start looking for other games to spotlight on Texas Football Tonight. And I will never forget, I was sitting there and we were in the middle of a segment and Ish's eyes just got massive. And I'm like, what? And he was like, I don't know if the score is wrong or not, but it looks like Summer Creek is like came all the way back, and we were like, what? So we instantly start playing that game, and then it was just back and forth. I mean, until the final 30 seconds, they made them work for it so hard. It was the fashion that game happened in that made it such a banger in those last like 20-ish minutes of the game.
Was that the week that we actually went off air at like 10? Like we dismissed y'all or whatever, but we just kept the game going because we had to. It was such a good game, but
and a great calls there by Michael Silvers. But it was that game was so fun to be a part of.
It was fun. Okay, my best game, my favorite, I guess, best game that I saw this year. I was actually there in person. We went all the way down to Waco, me, Powers, and Ish, to watch Waco U take on Lampasas.
Motion to the near side. Play fake across the middle. The slant is caught by Hagen Onken. Still spinning his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Badgers. A methodical opening drive for Lampasas. Hand off to Ladarius Evans. Evans, jump cut into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Something tells me we have a barn burner brewing. They're looking to sneak it with their sophomore quarterback. They do. Touchdown, Trojans. Savoy Nichols from 2 yards. Roberts once again comes in motion. They're swinging out to him out of the backfield. Roberts has the catch, then makes a cut upfield. There he goes. Goodbye, Bryson Roberts. Touchdown, Badgers. 56 yards. From the 32, Nichols winds, rainbows a ball near side. He has Keandre Brooks again. High stepping, touchdown Trojans, 68 yards. 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks for the junior. Roberts from the 1. Turns, hands it off to KJ Reed. No, he's not. He's going to keep it himself and keep his legs turning into the end zone for the Badger touchdown. The Badgers playing 3 deep safeties. Will Nichols take a shot? He will. Sets his feet, takes a shot. Brooks, caught! Touchdown, Trojans! Keandre Brooks has done it again! 38 yards! I don't believe.
Great call first by EJ Sanchez, especially on that last play of the game. It was, you could feel the energy of that stadium rocking when that happened. But it was funny because Powers and I wanted to go down to that game specifically to watch Waco U junior wide receiver London Smith play.
Yeah.
And I had talked about him before on WTF. He's one of my favorites in the state. Very, very electric player, but he was hurt, and we didn't find that out until halfway to Waco.
Yep.
Powers got a call. Yeah, Powers got a call saying, "Oh, London Smith actually isn't playing," and we were like, you know what? Who cares? Like, we're still gonna go. We're halfway there, and it ended up being such a cool game because I don't want to say cool because due to injuries, but so London Smith was out, and then so the game was neck and neck the entire time. It was, I think, tied up going into halftime as well. Just before half, Lampasas' quarterback went down. I had his name. What was his name? Reed Jerome. That's what it was. Reed Jerome. Been electric all season. He went down with an injury. So, of course, it was kind of like, oh, who's going to get Ty Johnson? Lampasas' wide receiver the ball. And, you know, what was this team going to look like coming into the second half, trying to find a new identity without their quarterback? And, of course, Waco U didn't have Lyndon Smith. So both of these teams had to figure out how to play without their star players. And it ended up being, like you saw, the way that this game ended, Savoy Nichols, 2027 quarterback, chunks it down deep to Keandre Brooks with 8 seconds left, and that seals the win for Waco U. And it was, the crowd even was fantastic. Lampasas brought quite a few people, obviously a home game for Waco U, so their side of the stands were absolutely packed. But it was a really fun game to see in person, and that was my first Texas high school football game that I had seen in person this season. And it was not until week 5, but it was kind of cool to kick off the in-season games. Yeah, a little busy, but no, that was a fun game. I'll never forget that. It was a lot of fun. So
All right, and to round it all out, Miss Vianney Moreno.
This game I went to one game all season because we are very busy. And I was able to go to the Star to go see a heck of a game, which was Alvarado and Frisco Panther Creek in the area round. And here's how it ended. That was in third overtime.
Mm-hmm.
The third overtime,
and
it was a game-winning field goal by our friend
Isaiah Sanchez.
Yes, he had. I remember you reading the stats that he had only kicked maybe like 2 field goals the entire.
He only kicked one, and he missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he missed it. And
So
then
That's right.
he only had one field goal attempt. Now that might sound crazy, but the reason being is Alvarado was really good. Alvarado had Cartier Collier, one of the best players in the state, and
Another
they scored.
dude's rock.
Yeah, they scored all the time.
Yeah.
They never he was great at PATs, but it was like he never had to really try for a field goal. So they had one attempt. He had missed it. Goes into that game and goes 3 for 3. The first one was in like the third quarter or second quarter, and it was a long one.
Wasn't it right before half or something?
Right before
like
half,
that?
I think.
Yeah.
He hits a long one to tie it up, and then he hits basically the game winner to send it into its first overtime, and then the game winner, the game tying one to send it into overtime, and then he hits the game winner in triple overtime after only having one field goal attempt prior to that.
Yeah. We were all there at that game.
It was so fun.
It was
I
a
know
lot
I have
of
to
fun.
be there too because on Tep and Step, I'm sorry you guys, I hate to hear that, but on Tep and Step it was our
Don't like that.
cut the breaks game of the week,
And it was.
It was awesome. I looked
Yeah.
over, I remember I was there and I was like, this is insane, this is a crazy game, and it was like my first area playoff game of the season. Pickle looks over at me and she goes, "They're all not like this." I swear.
Yeah.
It's like one and done because you ain't get
Again,
another one like
it's
this.
the beginner's luck, man.
Oh, yeah.
You just get a really good game the first
But
in-person game.
It was awesome. It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, there you go. Taking a look back at the electric season that was the 2024 Texas high school football season. It genuinely was a fun one. We want to thank everybody again because we have not personally been able to do that for being a part of Dave Campbell's, whether that was getting the magazine when the season, kicked off or watching the podcast or reading all the articles or watching us over state and doing state coverage. We really appreciate y'all doing this because that's the only way that we get to keep doing it.
Correct.
But Texas high school football is a lot of fun. And when the seasons are fun, it's a joy for us to get to bring you that coverage. So we really appreciate everybody.